Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we're going to be discussing 90 Day, the single life. But before we do, I just want to say a quick announcement again that I've said in the previous episodes that you would have gotten already. Love in Translation and 90 Day OG will be taking a week off due to the Super Bowl, so there won't be any recap of those two episodes, but everything else will be normal with the inclusion of the new season of Love is Blind. So, with that said, let's hop into the reason that we are here. 90 Day, The Single Life, Season 4, Episode 6, Veronica Double Dates. I hate the title of these episodes. Okay, so Debbie is first. She is packing to go to Miami to see Ruben the Cuban. And she's like, he seems sweet, like dark rum. And then she says something about Petey and packing Petey and that Petey will be comfortable in this other thing. And I'm like, who's Petey? I don't know who Petey is. Anyways, she thinks that Julian will be like a wet blanket, just spoiling all of her fun. But she's like, you know what? If it keeps the peace, then I guess you can come. So now it's the next day. We are en route to Miami to see Ruben the Cuban. She says that I would like to report some suspicious activity and points her phone over to Julian. He's like, don't say that on a plane. That's like saying bomb on an airplane. And you know what? You can't say bomb on an airplane. Bomb, 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 bomb. And if you know, you know. I'm just saying. I'm not going to say what movie that's from, but anyway. One of my favorite scenes of that movie. So, Ruben the Cuban, we are going to be doing a song for you. Miss Debbie is now landing in Miami, and she's trying to write a song for Ruben the Cuban. She says, and I quote, Ruben the Cuban, you've been my confusion, my tropical, and Julian's like, what the fuck you doing? Julian is like, are you going to do that to him? And he's like, yeah. He's like, no. See, if someone did that to me, I would be done. So he's like, you always have to ruin my fun. So now we see Debbie's getting ready to see Ruben the Cuban the same day too. She asks Julian for his opinion on the shoes that she should wear with this kind of blue, very Havana feeling type dress. And she's trying to decide between these cute little gold shoes I think would go perfect with the blue, or these pink like sandals, slip-on sandals that don't go with blue. Julian says, I like the gold ones, but she ends up not actually wearing the gold ones. She wears these like a black one or a gray one. I'm like, I like the gold. The gold kind of I like the gold. Anyways. So now she's gonna go meet Ruben the Cuban. And y'all, did you catch her necklace? I don't know how you couldn't catch her necklace, but her necklace was huge. So Julian tells her, okay, go have fun. You better text me every hour. And she's like, I'm not texting you every hour. Forget that. So now she is at the place where she's going to be meeting Ruben, the Cuban. And oh my God. Ruben is real colorful. He's wearing this like piece of art kind of shirt that he has. He has this fedora. He has the glasses, the sunglasses. He has these balloons. He is just colorful. And I said, they're perfect. They're perfect for each other. It's great. And, however, she says, I'm usually attracted to more conservative men, but classy men. And I'm like, what? You are? I mean, okay. So she's not usually used to seeing a man who's wearing every color, as she says, that has been God has created. She says, and I quote, "It's overkill, Debbie. Miss Debbie. Excuse me, Miss Debbie. You, ma'am, are nothing but color. You are just popping with all the colors. But you said Reuben the Cuban, who is also popping with all the colors, is overkill?" No, because she has to be the only one popping with the color. That's why. I see you. So they're going to go for a walk. I think they're in Little Havana. They're going to take a walk. And, he loves that she's just vibrant, just like him. And he definitely wants something long term. So she loves to see all of the art that's all around. And, he does too, And now we're going to be going at the world famous ball and chain. Okay, ball and chain. So they're dancing, having the time of their life. They're just having so much fun, and I love it for them. And he says, like, "Listen, I don't want to just have sex. Y'all, he wants to be able to make love." And I'm like, "That's okay, we're gonna keep in." I mean, let's be real. If you know, making love and is so different than having sex. Like, anyone can have sex. Not everyone knows the feeling of making love, and that's what he wants to do for Miss Debbie. She should have gotten more packs of condoms. We're gonna find something here. There's gonna be some interesting similarities between Miss Debbie and Mother Debbie in a second. We're gonna get there. So Debbie says that she hasn't had sex in 14 years. Mother Debbie hadn't had sex in 13 years. There's some interesting parallels between these two women, and for different reasons. But yeah, well, different reasons, both because husbands have, one died, one left and had a whole new family wherever the fuck he ended up. So yeah, she's like, "Listen," she's like, "Can you go back to being a virgin?" No. No, you can't. Um, she's like, "Listen, Osama always tried to have sex with me, but I told him, you can't have this ice cream, honey." You're not getting, yeah, she said, "You're not getting any of this ice cream, honey." And I'm like, yeah, no, Osama can't handle, that kind of ice cream. Nah, fuck her. Anyways, yeah, she also kind of says, like, you know, do I still know what to do? Like, I haven't. It's been so long. Like, do I still like remember? Like, maybe I'll be like, "What's happening?" And I was like, "Debbie, you never forget, no matter how long it's been. It's like riding a bicycle, so I've heard." Yeah. Okay. So she is happy. She didn't. So sorry. She's happy when it comes to Osama. She's happy that she didn't give up her virtue to that young punk. And I said, "Good for you. Good for you." So, and the other part that she says here is kind of still talking about her being out of touch. So she is gonna leave now. She said she's really tired. She's been traveling a lot, but they will see each other tomorrow because he still has so much more he wants to show her. So before she leaves, they kiss, not once, but twice, 3 times later. And we're all really like, "Yes, Debbie!" I root for Debbie. That's all I root for. That's the only person really and truly I root for in all of this nonsense. But anyways, that is it for Miss Debbie. Let's move on to Natalie. So we kind of have this weird kind of two different storylines here within Natalie's storyline. We have Natalie, then we'll have Josh. So let's do Natalie first. So Natalie and Mom are going to go get some breakfast. She thinks that, with David inviting her to do the audition for the horror movie, that she could end up being a successful part of the acting industry. And I said, nope. So funny. So Mama says, what about Michael? She wants to see Michael. She misses Michael. She says he is so sweet. He used to call me mommy. She's like, I never thought a bad thing about Josh until he left us stranded at the airport. Anyway, but Mom does encourage Natalie to be friends with Michael and nothing more, if that's what obviously nothing more. So she's like, let's call him. So Natalie does. And she's like, hi. When he answers, she was shocked. She was shocked that he answered. And she's like, I got a surprise for you. Close your eyes. And he's like, okay. So he closes his eyes. And she turns the phone to Mom. And he's like, Mama. So it's cute, but it's also weird because we're not married anymore. But anyways, she basically says, I miss you. You should come for lunch sometime. Like, he's close the fuck by. He's in Washington, right? Which is on the West Coast, but like, okay. But anyways, he's like, okay. He says yes, he's gonna come. And now, like, oh. So she tells Mike, okay, we'll discuss the details. And he's like, okay, yeah, keep in touch. And that's it. That's basically it. So that's how we kind of, I see where this is headed with everything we see later. Anyways, that's kind of it. There's not a whole lot else to talk about, but let me tell you, Mama loves Michael. Mama loves Michael. So now Josh is meeting up with some of his colleagues/friends. One is, we'll get to the names after. Let's just go on. So they're going to be talking the business. Peyton is the COO of the business, and Ty is one of his top directors. So they're kind of talking about all this shit about, oh, whatever, who gives a shit. Anyways, he says, so what's Natalie thing? What's going on? Because it's affecting everything. And this is what Peyton says. And Peyton's like, listen, we were at an audition 2 weeks ago, and your phone's fucking blowing up with her saying, I need you to get me somewhere. Like, that's not great. And Josh says, listen, I care for her. And Ty's like, the fuck? No. But Peyton says, it's feeling fishy. She definitely wants to be in our industry. I mean, fuck, we met her at an audition while she was on a date with another guy. We met her on an audition. And, and Josh was like, well, here's the other thing, too. I want to do a project, that she, guess, could be a part of. And both of them, like, for her. And he's like, well, including her. And Peyton is like, listen, I know why she's hanging around you. It's pretty clear, right? And Ty is like, you're a smart man. I feel like you're purposely being dumb here. And I said, you know what? You two are dumb as fuck. You think that this shit isn't transactional on all sides? Of course Natalie's using Josh for the connections. It's fucking perfect. And the money. Of course she is. He's using her too because he loves the crazy. He's probably getting fucked out of his mind. And why the fuck wouldn't he stick around for that? Because the relationship is 1000% transactional on both ends. Like, give me a break. Anyway, we're going to take a quick little break here. And when we come back, we will hop into Veronica/Tim. Have you ever wanted to guest on a podcast like this one that you're listening to right now? Well, you can. You can definitely do this by visiting a website called Podmatch, where you can sign up and be available for all different types of podcasts that you can guest on. Or you can even search for a podcast and say, I want to guest on your podcast. I think we'd be a good match. So if you want to do this, you can go to our unique link, which is joinpodmatch.com/reality, and you can sign up and do exactly that. And you can find us and you can guest on our podcast. So again, that unique link is www.joinpodmatch.com. That's joinpodmatch.com/reality, REALITEA, and you can be a guest on our podcast. Have you ever thought of starting your very own podcast? Doing the research, I found something that would have made editing easy and seamless and makes the podcasting experience just that much easier. And I am talking about Ludo. This is a podcast software that I use for our editing of our episodes. It is amazing. It is easy. You're also able to get help from doing chats and getting the information that maybe you just need a little more help with. They also have access to different articles that can also help you that have been just godsends for me. Also with the Ludo, you can create clips, you can do your ads, that's like this very one I'm doing right now, and you can create your trailer very seamlessly just by the clicks of buttons. You can also use a Ludo to publish your episodes just straight from the software. It's so easy. I highly recommend it. You can get access to a Ludo by using our unique link, which you can find on our show notes, just down there at the bottom at the show notes. And you can get access to an easy software. And we are back. So Veronica and Tim. So Veronica and Jamal are gonna go play some pickleball. So everyone now is gonna start playing some pickleball. Anyway, she's like, listen, this whole situation with this argument, it can't happen. This can't happen again. You know, there's gonna be graduations and weddings and all of this. And she's like, you know, yeah. And I'm thinking, Veronica, the fact that you think that Jamal's going to be sticking around long enough for graduation at the bare minimum, forget weddings, is laughable. It's fucking laughable. He's not sticking around long enough to see Chloe graduate. That's 2 years from now. You've got to be fucking nuts. I'm sorry. You're in Delulu land if you really think he's sticking around long enough to see her graduate. Ridiculous. So she tells us that before the fight happened, she had already arranged for a double date with Tim and Louisa to play pickleball. Jamal says, listen, I shouldn't have gotten in his face, but I'm not the only one in the wrong. Okay, no, I'm not denying that you're the only one in the wrong in general, but you were the only one in the wrong at night because where the fuck did all this come from? You don't throw shit at somebody like that in front of a crowd of people. You take them aside and you talk to them like a grown up. That's not what you did. So anyway, so they're warming up, waiting for Tim and Louisa to show up, and then they do. And we kind of find out here that, listen, no one here has played pickleball before except for Jamal, the youngest one here. But Tim says that he has no desire to talk to Jamal about what happened last night, especially in front of Louisa. But we're going to start playing this game. And Tim's like, Louisa, listen, I am competitive. I need to win. So we're going to win. You better hit that fucking ball. If you don't hit that fucking ball, then I'm not going to kiss you. Not that I am going to kiss you because I'm me. But you know what I mean? I'm going to win. So we're playing, having fun. Then Tim, in order to get the ball, runs right into the fucking net. And it falls down with him. And he's like, oh shit. He's like, y'all didn't see that. Y'all didn't see that. I thought this was bolted. This shit's not bolted. You didn't see that. Oh man. So Veronica and Louisa go off to the bathroom, I guess, and leaves Jamal and Tim by themselves. Jamal apologizes to Tim. He's like, listen, I never should have got in your face. I never should have brought up Chloe. I don't want to blame the alcohol, but it sure as hell didn't help. And I said, you're going to blame on the alcohol? Like you're God, okay. Great song, but fuck you. Jamal, really. I'm going to blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the Henny, blame it on the flute top. So, Tim says, he's like, I went home after that happened and he thought about everything and he's like, things definitely did get out of hand. He's like, I own up to the fact that I am overprotective of her because, she has had her heart broken before and he just obviously doesn't want that to happen. Because he's always kind of the one who's kind of left having to help her pick up those pieces. So, but he's like, listen, I don't need to be involved in your guys' relationship. End it. Okay. This is good. This is an olive branch. This is great. Let's continue. So now we're going to be going to dinner with Jamal, Veronica, Tim, and Louisa. And he says to Veronica, I want to, because she's like, what are you guys going to get? And he's like, I want to get a filet, but Veronica, I don't remember how I like it. How do I like it again? Tell me how I like it. He likes it medium. Oh, sorry, medium well. And he's like, okay. She's like, do you want me just to order it for you? And I'm like, okay, listen. I think at this point in life, if you've had a steak and you know how you like your steak, you should know how you like your steak. So if you like it medium well, then you should fucking know that. I know I like mine medium. But like, you should know that you like it like that. Like she shouldn't have to tell you. And then offer to order it for you? It's so weird. So Jamal ends up asking Tim and Louisa if they are exclusive. And Tim's like, well, we're testing out the waters and blah, blah, blah. And Louisa's like, so then we're just friends. That's what's happening here. We're just friends. He's like, no, like, it's more than that, but like, what's going on? He's so awkward. Louisa kind of says, like in an interview afterwards, she's like, I just want him to touch me, kiss me, do something. She's like, he has his barrier up and I don't know why. So Veronica tells her he is slow. She's like, I had to make the first move, otherwise he never would have. But he is a great listener. And, kind of like Jamal. Jamal, you're a great listener too. And Jamal's like, she loves to compare us. And Louisa's like, yeah, he likes to compare things to Veronica too. And I'm like, oh, why can't these two just get back together then? Because my God, it would make things so much easier. Veronica's like, well, you know, we do kiss. Me and Jamal, we kiss. Okay. In the end of the moment, she tells him, why won't you kiss her? He's like, do you schedule your kisses? And she's like, no, you go on a date, you kiss. He's like, if someone didn't kiss me on a date, I'd be thinking, what the fuck are we doing here? um, so he's like, that's weird. She's like, you are a 43-year-old man. Kiss her. For fuck's sakes, kiss the girl. Jeez. And he's like, well, I don't want to swashbuckle it with every mouth. Oh my God, this guy. Anyway, then Veronica tells Louisa in Spanish, listen, I know this is weird. And if it's uncomfortable, like, just let me know. Let me know. And Jamal's frustrated. He's like, can everyone be informed of what's going on here? She's like, I will tell you later. This is a girl-to-girl conversation. See yourself out. And he's like, this is what's frustrating to me because, like, she's schooling you or whatever on how to be in a relationship with Tim. Like, which at first I was like, no, that's not really what's happening here, though. But I'm like, you know what? He's right. That is kind of what's happening here. And he is realizing that is what's happening here. Ugh. Anyway, that is it for Veronica and Tim. I mean, honestly, I don't know what you do here. I mean, I personally wouldn't be I would be okay with any of this. I would have a healthy respect for the friendship that you have. I don't want to come in between that. I'm going to trust that there's nothing I need to worry about with any of this. But at the same time, this level is uncomfortable. I don't know what y'all do, but anyways, that's it for them. Okay, so last but not least, John. So we see him calling the front desk and he's asking for deodorant. Oh, you do have deodorant. Why didn't you do that already? Do you also want to ask for a toothbrush and toothpaste? Like, and anything else you may need? So after that, John calls Patrick and, Patrick asks how everything is going. It's going good. And Patrick asks, well, are you meeting the daughter? And he says, yeah. And he says, well, do you want to meet the daughter? And John says, well, I have to, if I want this to work, which isn't a great answer. Patrick says, well, I wouldn't meet the daughter. What if you guys break up? That she's just going to be involved. And here's my thing. I hear what Patrick's saying, but this isn't up to you. At the end of the day, it's up to her. She is this child's mother. If she feels confident enough for him to be meeting her daughter, then, I have some thoughts on her, but yeah, if she feels comfortable enough with him meeting her daughter, then okay. I mean, John is in uncharted waters here. He's never been with someone who has a child. So, he doesn't know exactly how this is all going to work. But, he says, Patrick says, are you just telling her things to make her happy? And he says, no, of course not. I think Patrick is a little bit of a shit right now, but he's kind of always been. Let's continue. So now it's later that day. John is meeting with Meghan and River, her daughter. And we're going to be putting on training wheels, which I'm just going to say, they never put the training wheels on her bike. Did you notice that? Because I did. Anyways, we find out here that River is on the spectrum. She says that she is high functioning. Now, again, I know I never have said who the family member is, but we're going to say it's a very close person. Fuck it. It's my brother, my sibling. whatever, my brother, he's autistic. And he is considered, I believe it's high, I think he has medium to high functioning. I can't remember exactly what, but he is high functioning, which used to be referred to as Asperger's. So usually um, you're verbal, you're very smart, you might have some behavioral problems and whatnot. Maybe you have problems with adjustment. You do deal with like sensory things and um as well as, maybe even being in a group setting, being able to feel comfortable enough to communicate and that kind of thing. Those are kind of things that they deal with. But the main thing is they're not nonverbal. They are verbal. So my mother watching this is like, so if she's nonverbal, then she's not high functioning. And I did ask my mom, like, well, is it possible? So maybe it is. I don't know. And I think we're still learning a lot about autism. But again, my brother is in his 20s. He was diagnosed late. But nonetheless, I did ask her, I'm like, well, is it possible that, a child can be high functioning and nonverbal? And she's like, I don't think so. But I mean, maybe, who knows? But it, I don't know. Maybe she's just a little slower. I don't know. But again, like my mom kind of said, like, well, being maybe 2 years old and not yet verbal, that can make sense because maybe developmentally you're still catching up. But when you're 4, 5, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not disputing that she is on the spectrum. I'm not disputing she believes her child is high functioning. I'm just disputing the doctor's diagnosis. That's what I'm kind of getting at. Because usually if you're nonverbal, you're low functioning, not high functioning. But nonetheless, we're going to get more into other things. But John hands her the wrench. So and she's definitely very smart. She knows exactly where the wrench is supposed to go and what it's supposed to do and all of that. But then, we see her going on the bike and without, like I said, without the training wheels. So here's the other thing I want to mention. And yeah, Meghan is very pushy on the fact that she wants him to move to San Antonio. And I believe the goal is for him to move in with her immediately. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But when you're dealing with someone with an autistic child, even if your child is not autistic, that adjustment period, because they're used to one thing, their child is used to you and her, that's it. That child is really going to struggle with the change of having him in the home, as just in general, having a man in the home. She's not going to be used to that. Add that layer of she is autistic, it's even tenfold. She's not going to do well with John living with them. She's just not. If the goal is for him to move to San Antonio, but to live on his own and maybe slowly, have him spend the night, a night here, a night there, whatever, then go for it. 100%. But I just don't know about the whole, let's move in right now. And I don't know about that. It's going to be a huge adjustment for her. But anyway, it's now the last night. They're spending some time together. He doesn't know if he's ready to uproot his life and move to San Antonio. But he does invite her to come to Vegas so she can meet his family. So that's great. So we're going to see her in Vegas, which I think we all kind of know already. We're going to see her in Vegas soon. And then we see her dropping him off at the hotel. And that's it. I thought for sure she'd spend the night with him, but maybe he has an early flight. But she was definitely very emotional, dropping him off. But that's basically it for John. There wasn't a whole lot here to really talk about. So we don't get a next time on, but we get a still to come. So we see Meghan riding a dick. Riding, I didn't know that was even like a bull. She's not actually riding a dick, but she's riding a dick that like a bull that's shaped like a dick. It's funny. Anyway, Tyray is really sweaty for his first date because he's stressed. Chantel is falling for Giannis. Fuck this. I can't anymore. But we're out of time. That is a song. I'm trying to figure it out in my head and I can't figure it out, but I'm out of touch. Yeah, I think it's Hall & Oates. I think I might be wrong, but anyways, I'm like, no, it's a song. And then she also then says, "Where do we go from here?" Which is also, or well, she said, "Where should we go from here?" But "Where do we go from here?" is a song too. The Deborah Fox. Anyway, she's just naming all these kinds of songs. Many moves. Julian doesn't like Ruben. He thinks he's dangerous. And he also got a picture of his tag, so he's going to run a full criminal history on him. That is intrusive. And then he is going to interrogate him. Lord. Jamal is over it with Veronica and this shit. But he's also being very immature about it. He's like, well, then you keep doing what you're doing and see then what's going to happen. And then we kind of just see Natalie's mom kind of being like, you and Josh have been together for a year. Where's the ring? Sounding very much like Sunny and Eva from Smothered. Kind of like that. She basically goes to Josh and I guess, I don't know what she says to him, but she ultimately says, "You're weak." She says, "You're fucking weak." And then she's like, "I've wasted 7 years with Mike and then the time with Josh." And yeah, that's on you. Not even just them. You've been married, was it 3 times? Ma'am, give it up. You're not going to get married. It's not going to work. Some people are just not meant to be married. That's fine. But anyways, that is it for the single life for this week. So if you like what you heard, please share us with everyone in your life. Please also rate and review. That helps our growth, which you can do at either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. So make sure you hit follow, subscribe on your favorite app so you don't miss a single episode. You can connect with us by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Times 2. You can also go to Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Times 2 Pod. And you can email us by going to realitytimes2@hotmail.com. Don't forget we have our website, which is at solo.to/reality times 2. And also, don't forget I have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel called the Next Take Podcast, where we talk about, well, just about everything over there. We're on every one of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. But you can get access to any links, any socials, anything like that by going to our website, which is solo.to/next take podcast. And you also can go to YouTube, which is Next Take Podcast as well. But of course, all of these links will be in the show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.